On NFL.com, I'm looking at the combine and raising the question, who should the Raiders select? My choice is Vita Vea. Vita Vea. As you can tell, I have the hiccups. And I'm sure most Raider fans do not want the Raiders to get a hiccup in the first round, like they have been of late. Okay, why Vita Vea, Vita Vea, or Vita Vea? Why this guy? I'll tell you why. The Raiders have a secondary problem and have for many years. I have a hiccup problem. The Raiders' hiccup in their secondary doesn't exclusively have to do with the players. Sean Smith did very well on the Kansas City Chiefs, but they have a better pass rush than the Raiders. I'm going to keep on reminding you of hiccups in the first round. So the problem with the Raiders is not because they don't have any sort of talent in the secondary. It's because they have no talent really on the defensive line. Now, Paul Gunther, he is known for disguising blitzes, but not even blitzing at all, because he relies on a strong push from the front four. So the Raiders need defensive line help. You already can see what Gruden is saying. He wants his bookend pass rushes are going to be Khalil Mack and Bruce Irvin. Okay? And I think it's pretty obvious Gunther is going to mix things up, change them around, do different stunts and stuff like that, and try to prevent any hiccups. But the problem is, in the center, the Raiders don't have any. What's that guy the Raiders used to have? That little short black Ball, I think his name was. He was a little short dude, but he was all stubby. He had short arms, kind of like Vita Vea, and he could disrupt the middle. He could collapse the middle of the pocket and put pressure on the quarterback, stop the run. And that's what the Raiders need. They need someone to get in there, stop the run. Now, Panda Dose was selected last year in the third round to do that. He blew out his knee. I could see his knee was already injured, and they kept him in the game. Yeah. Well, he blew out his knee. He was probably playing with it injured, too, and he didn't say anything, which speaks to his mentality. It's all fine being some hero, like, Jim Otto or whatever, but the Raiders kind of needed him to develop, and it seems at times he was more concerned about beating up the guy in front of him than actually disrupting the quarterback or the running game. That was a little bit of a problem with him. And he won't be available for a long time. He got a knee injury. I've had minor knee injuries, and they can take a year. Non-surgical ones I'm talking about. So the Raiders need help right there. And this guy, I think, is perfect. He's pretty tall. His arms aren't that long. But you know something? Let's scroll down a bit. His arms not that long, but he was second in bench press for the defensive line. I don't know if they include the edge, whatever that means nowadays. It used to be called defensive end, but now it's called edge. Are they advertising those guys with edge shaving cream or something? I always think there's an advertisement involved in any of this. For a big guy, he's pretty fast in the 40-yard dash. I don't know what I do in the 40-yard dash, but I'm considerably lighter than him. He is, whoa, he's good, twice as heavy as me. No, wait a minute. Yeah, almost twice as heavy. I think I weigh a buck 75 right now. But he did 41 reps, and where that comes into play, because he doesn't have the long arms. One thing I like about Autry, he's very tall. He gets arms up there and block passes. That's very good. Maybe they should move him inside. But, I mean, if they sign him, I think he's a free agent. I mean, that is good to have that sort of thing. But it's also good to have leverage. Guys with shorter arms can do more bench pressing because they don't have to push it up as much. It's got big hands too. It's good for falling on fumbles and even creating interceptions. Sometimes defensive linemen can occasionally get an interception, or he would make up for his shorter arms. But I think his shorter arms have a lot to do with his body size. He's huge. But he would create a disruption in the middle, allowing Irvin and Mack to get to the quarterback. And I think this is crucial. I don't care who you have back there. It's cornerback. He needs time. Under the new rules, you can't do what you used to be able to do to wide receivers. You can't even hit them. You can't touch them. You can't even look at them funny. And if they break off the line, you're trying to catch up to some guy who's going to be a little bit faster than you, and he knows where he's going. You don't. So you need help. And that's why I say Vita Vea, whatever his name is, would be the perfect fit for the Raiders if he's available. Yeah, I don't know if I'd buy into the Raiders would, not talk to the guy who they were going to select. I don't know exactly if I've analyzed that. They were at Derek Carr's pro day, and I don't know if they talked to the other ones. I don't have that knowledge off the top of my head, but you know what a hiccup could possibly be? That linebacker from Georgia, because he's a little short. He's like 6'1" or something, or 6, somewhere around there. Chances are they exaggerate their height anyway. But that could be a problem. That could be a problem with guys like Kelsey, and who runs faster than him. I know Obi was drafted to cover tight ends and stuff like that, but that's not always going to be the case. You have to have a linebacker who can cover. If you're going to go linebacker, the Edmonds guy, he's 6'5". To me, that would make more sense if you're going to go that route. But really, the Raiders need pressure. Some of the offensive statistics were off the board for the other teams last year. They didn't get the interception to game 10. It was after bringing in Bowman. They could be trying to hide their cards by not re-signing him. I think he deserves to be re-signed. I don't understand this. Go cheap on your middle linebacker, who's going to be your green dot player. think you need someone with experience, and you can't like fool around with these rookies. Now up front, Vita Vea will just have one task: go after the quarterback. And I think that is crucial. Remember, if you just want to like use John Gruden, for example, then you have Warren Sapp in Tampa. You gotta have that big guy in the middle disrupting everything. He might not get all the sacks, but he would be crucial to the defense. So I say Vita Vea over a linebacker or a cornerback, because if you go and draft another cornerback without addressing the offensive line, I'm telling you, it's going to be a problem. I know Gruden, he drafted Charles Woodson, and that did transform the Raiders in many ways. But I think he also that year drafted Beakett or something. And there were probably some other players I can't remember off the top of my head. But you need the defensive line to be solidified, and this guy is the perfect guy for it. And I'm telling you, the Raiders have whiffed many times in the first round. Many times. And I hope they don't whiff on this one, but this guy might not even be available. That's the problem.